It was a cloudy Thursday afternoon when Ethan Morris rushed into Westview Elementary. His shirt was wrinkled, his shoes were muddy from running across the soccer field where he worked as a coach, and he carried the distinct scent of a man who hadn't planned to attend a meeting, let alone make an impression. The hallway clock read 4:22 p.m. The parent-teacher conference had started 22 minutes ago. He was late again. Not because he didn't care, but because life hadn't left him much choice. He'd been raising his daughter Lily alone since her mother passed away 2 years ago. Between 2 part-time jobs, his coaching gigs, and night shifts as a janitor, Ethan's days blurred into each other. As he stepped into the room, heads turned. The teachers paused. One of them whispered. At the front of the room, a woman in a crisp navy blazer, Principal Grace Holloway, looked up. She was known for her sharp mind, no-nonsense rules, and an intimidating poise. Ethan offered a sheepish smile. "Sorry I'm late, work ran long." The moment hung in the air, thick with judgment. Then something shifted. Grace's eyes lingered on him, not with irritation, but curiosity. After the meeting, Grace pulled Ethan aside. "Lily is doing wonderfully," she said, her voice softening. "She speaks of you all the time." Ethan nodded, brushing back his unkempt hair. "She's all I've got," he replied, almost under his breath. Grace noticed the bags under his eyes, the tear at the edge of his sleeve, the calluses on his hands. He wasn't dressed to impress, but there was a dignity in his weariness. He expected a quick exchange, a generic compliment and dismissal. Instead, Grace asked if he had time to talk more. They sat on a bench outside the school as dusk fell. He told her about Lily's bedtime stories, how they made paper lanterns on weekends, how he taught her math by counting laundry. Grace listened, truly listened, like no one had in a long time. She didn't see a poor man or a tired father. She saw a hero hiding in plain clothes. A week later, Grace did something unexpected. She visited Ethan's neighborhood under the guise of a home visit. What she found left her speechless. His apartment was small, barely 2 rooms, but spotlessly clean. The walls were covered with Lily's drawings. A hand-painted "Love You Daddy" banner hung over the kitchen sink. Ethan offered her tea in mismatched mugs, apologized for the clutter, and helped Lily with homework as they talked. As Grace watched them, a lump formed in her throat. This wasn't just parenting. It was survival. It was love without luxury. She saw Ethan's character, not his paycheck. And in Lily's laughter, she saw the impact of a father who never gave up, even when everything begged him to. News spread fast in small towns. A few teachers whispered about Grace visiting Ethan's home. Some parents raised eyebrows. One even confronted her. "You're the principal. You can't just go around getting personal with single dads." But Grace stood firm. "If we only help children and ignore their parents, we miss the bigger picture." Then came the real test. Lily was bullied. One boy mocked her for her father's janitor clothes. She ran to the bathroom crying. When Ethan found out, he stormed into the school, not in anger, but with a broken heart. "She's never been ashamed of me," he told Grace, holding back tears. Until now. Grace did something bold. At the next school assembly, she stood in front of everyone and shared Ethan's story, without names but with meaning. She spoke about resilience, about parents who sacrifice everything. She ended with, "The strongest people don't always wear suits. Sometimes they wear old sneakers and carry lunchboxes." Weeks passed. Grace and Ethan spoke more. They took walks with Lily, shared books, talked late at night, first about school, then about life. She saw in Ethan something she hadn't found in all her years chasing success: humility, honesty, heart. One Friday, as the winter sun dipped below the horizon, Ethan picked up Lily from school. Grace was waiting. She looked nervous, holding something in her hand. It was a letter Lily had written in class. "I wish Miss Holloway could be my mommy." Ethan read it silently, stunned. Grace whispered, "She's not the only one wishing." There was a pause. The wind howled gently around them. Then, with a trembling voice, Grace asked the question that would shock the entire school. "Ethan, would you let me be part of your life? Part of her life? Would you marry me?" They didn't rush into a wedding. That wasn't the point. It was the promise. Grace began spending more time with them, helping Lily with homework, cooking dinners, laughing around puzzles. Ethan, once so guarded, opened up. They blended into something beautiful, not flashy, but deeply human. When they finally did marry, it was in the school garden. Lily wore a flower crown. Ethan, a pressed shirt donated by a teacher friend. Grace walked down the aisle barefoot. The entire staff showed up. Even the boy who once bullied Lily handed her a handmade card. "Your dad's the coolest." Years later, the story of Grace and Ethan became school legend. A framed quote hung in the principal's office. "Character is not what you wear. It's what you give." Lily thrived, not because of wealth, but because of love. Grace stayed principal, but her policies changed. More empathy, more outreach, more second chances. Ethan became a youth mentor. He spoke at schools, telling kids about growing up poor and proud. His message, kindness is stronger than struggle. In a world chasing perfection, Ethan showed us the quiet strength of showing up, even late, even simple, even tired. And Grace reminded us that love, when honest, rewrites every rule. Sometimes the best things in life don't come dressed to impress. They come dressed in love.